Hello everyone, welcome to Math. Today we will be covering geometry revision for GCSE Foundation Maths. Here are some tips to succeed GCSE Foundation Paper 1. Keep your composure and confidence. Revise on a regular schedule instead of waiting until the last minute. Be familiar with the exam layout. Practice past exam papers and time yourself. Read every question very carefully. Try not to rush it and misinterpreting the question. Attempt every single question, even partially. Every mark counts. Here is a 3-step method that will be very beneficial for GCSE Maths. So the first step, knowing 3 facts about the topic. Second step, avoiding common mistakes. And lastly, thinking outside the box. Having all 3 of these essential skills will help you pass your GCSE Maths exam. And knowing these 3 important skills will be really useful and beneficial. So please do remember them. Perimeter. What does perimeter mean to us? Perimeter is the distance all around the shape. Let us look at this shape, for example. So we are given these values, 3, 6, 2, 2, 6. If we're asked the question, work out the perimeter of this shape, just remember this important information. All you need to do is just add all of these values together. So 3 plus 6 plus 2 plus 2 plus 6. When you do that, that will give us our total perimeter of 19 centimeters. So these are all the important steps that you need to do. Nothing else. This is quite quick fire and simple strategy. So let us look at an example together. So the perimeter of the shape is equal to 50 centimeters. We are trying to work out what is x. So this is the shape that is identical from the previous slide, but the only difference is instead of just the whole number of values that we get, we are also given an expression. So we're given 2x plus 4, 3x, 3x, and 2x plus 4. So these are just the new informations that we're given. Another new information we are given is that the perimeter is equal to 50 centimeters. But the step that we do when working out the perimeter is exactly the same as the previous slide. So all we need to do is we just carry on as normal. We will add all of these together and we will make it equal to 50 centimeters. So essentially 2x plus 4 plus 3x plus 3x plus 2x plus 4 plus 4x. Or you could rewrite it as 2 lots of 2x plus 4 plus 4x plus 2 lots of 3x. That will be equal to 50 centimeters. So 2 times, let's expand these brackets first. So 2 times 2x is equal to 4x. 2 times 4 is equal to 8. So 4x plus 8 plus 4x and then plus 2 times 3x. This is 6x and will make it equal to 50 centimeters. So we have to ask 4x plus 8 plus 4x plus 6x is equal to 50. Now, let us add all of these x's together. So 4x plus 4x is equal to 8x. 8x plus 6x is equal to 14x. So we're left with 14x plus 8 is equal to 50. Now we need to make x the subject. So we will move the plus 8 to the right side to make it minus 8. So 14x is equal to 50 minus 8. So 14x is equal to 42. And now we'll make x the subject. So 42 divided by 14, x is equal to 3. So that will be your final answer for x. Therefore, x is equal to 3. Let us work out the perimeter of this particular shape. in centimeters. So we are given two values along with new information to remember. So when working out this perimeter of this particular shape, we need to consider some factors. We are given half of a circle here, and we know that the diameter of this half of a circle is 4 meters. So when we work out the circumference of a circle, it will be, as I said, 2 pi r or pi d. Now that we're given half of a circle, so this would be pi d over 2. Now, there are two ways to work out the perimeter for both of these half of circles. You can either add them individually, or you can merge them into one to make it into a whole circle. So let us work this out. So 8 plus 8 plus half pi multiplied by 4 plus half pi multiplied by 4. So we'll write 8 plus 8 plus half pi times 4, this is 2 pi, plus half pi times 4, this is also 2 pi. When you add 2 pi with another 2 pi, that will give us 4 pi. And when we add these together, that should give us perimeter 16 plus 4 pi. So this value would be 28.566376061 meters. The question asks us to work out the perimeter in centimeters. And knowing from the conversions, 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. So in this case, we will do 28.566376061 multiplied by 100. That should give us our answer 2,857 centimeters to 4 significant figures. Find the perimeter of this shape. We are given two values, 2 3/4 and 4 halves. So to work out the perimeter of the shape, we would add these together. So 2 3/4 plus another 2 3/4 plus 4 halves plus another 4 halves. So we will write this right here. So with these mixed numbers, we can rewrite this into an improper fraction. So 4 times 2 is equal to 8. 8 plus 3 is equal to 11. So it will be 11 over 4. This mixed number can also be written as 11 over 4. So we add them all together. So 4 halves. 2 times 4 is equal to 8. 8 plus 1 is equal to 9. So 9 over 2. This is also 9 over 2. So we'll just add them up together. 11 over 4 plus 11 over 4 will be 22 over 4, plus 9 over 2 plus 9 over 2 will be 18 over 2. So this can be simplified further to 11 over 2 because we could divide this by 2. So 18 over 2 plus 11 over 2 will give us 29 over 2. And we can rewrite 29 over 2 as a mixed number. And that can be rewritten as 14 and a half. So our perimeter is 14 and a half. Area of rectangle. Work out the area for this rectangle. So we are given two values, 8 centimeters and 5 centimeters. To work out area of rectangle, we need to remember the formula. Area of rectangle is equal to length times width. So our length is 8 centimeters and our width is 5 centimeters. So times b. So we do 8 times 5. That should give us 40 centimeters squared. Sam says the area of this rectangle is 1,600 centimeters squared. Prove that Sam's statement is wrong. To work out an area of rectangle, we need to do length times width. So we know that area is the space inside of a 2D shape. So area is equal to length times width, as I mentioned earlier. So now all we need to do is just put these values. So our length is 8 centimeters. Our width is 5 centimeters. So what we need to do is just multiply them together. So area is equal to 8 times 5. That should give us our area of 40 centimeters squared. Therefore, Sam's statement is wrong. Area of a triangle. So when working out area of a triangle, we need to know this important formula. So area of a triangle is equal to half multiplied by base multiplied by height, or you could write it as base times height divided by 2. So base times height divided by 2, or as I mentioned earlier, area of triangle is equal to half multiplied by base multiplied by height. So let us work out the area of triangle ABC. So the area of triangle, as I mentioned earlier, is equal to base times height divided by 2, or half times base times height. Our base is equal to 6 centimeters. And our height is equal to 7 centimeters. So we will plug this into our formula. 6 multiplied by 7 divided by 2. 6 times 7 is 42. 42 divided by 2 is equal to 21 centimeters squared. Therefore, our area of triangle ABC is equal to 21 centimeters squared. So we are given this particular shape. This shape is known as a parallelogram. To know what the formula is for area of a parallelogram, this is equal to our base multiplied by our perpendicular height. So the area of a parallelogram is equal to base times the perpendicular height. So we know that the formula for area of a parallelogram is equal to base times perpendicular height. So let us look at an example. So we need to work out the area of the parallelogram. So we know that our area of parallelogram is equal to base times height. So let's just say that our base is equal to 10 and our perpendicular height is equal to 5. So all we need to do is just substitute these values into our formula. So it will be 10 multiplied by 5, and that should give us 50 centimeters squared. Therefore, our area of parallelogram is equal to 50 centimeters squared. Area of trapezium. Work out the area of a trapezium. So area of trapezium is equal to half multiplied by a plus b. So this arrow here represents a. So let's imagine this is 3 centimeters. And this arrow here represents b. So this would be 7 centimeters, for example. And our height is here. Let's just imagine our value will be 4 centimeters. So to work out the area of a trapezium, we would plug these values into our formula. So it would be a half multiplied by open bracket 3 plus 7 close bracket multiplied by our height, which is 4. So 3 plus 7 is equal to 10. 10 multiply a half, this is the same as 10 divided by 2. That will give us 5. 5 multiplied by 4, which is our height, that would give us 20 centimeters squared. Therefore, our area of trapezium is 20 centimeters squared. Circle parts. So, what is this? This is a circle. What is this? What is this red line here? This red line is an arc. What is this? So this section is a sector. What is this? This is a circumference. Or in other words, this is our perimeter of a circle. What is this? This is our diameter. What is this? This is our radius. So our radius is half of our diameter. What is this? This is a segment. And lastly, what is this? This is our center. So we are given this circle and we need to remember what is an area of a circle. So area of a circle is equal to pi r squared. In other words, pi multiplied by radius squared, where r is our radius of a circle and our pi is equal to 3.14. So if we were to solve this circle, what would be the area of the circle? We would do pi multiplied by 4 squared. So pi multiplied by 4 squared would be 16 pi, or you could write it as 3.14 multiplied by 16. That should give us 50.265 or 50 centimeters squared to two significant figures. If this question was a non-calculator, you can leave your answer in the form of pi. So if we were to solve this and we asked to leave our area of circle in terms of pi, we would leave our final answer as 16 pi. But these final two steps are done with a calculator. So these are all the important information just for you to remember, okay? And that confirms that our area of circle is 50 centimeters squared to two significant figures. So if we're asked to work out a circumference of a circle, just remember that the circumference is like a perimeter. So there's two formulas for circumference of a circle. So 2 pi r or pi d. Our d is our diameter, which is 2 lots of our radius. So 2 pi r can be plugged in with this value. So 2 times pi times 4, or we know that pi is equal to 3.14. We write it as 2 times 3.14 times 4. Or you could write it in this format. Our diameter is 2 lots of the radius, so 4 times 2 is equal to 8. That would be 8 pi. So our circumference of a circle is 8 pi centimeters. And if we were to use a calculator for this, that would give us our final answer of 25.13 centimeters. Let us go through an example together. OAB is a sector of a circle The radius of the circle is 15 centimeters. The angle of a sector is 30 degrees. Work out the area of the sector OAB. Give your answer correct to 3 significant figures. To work out an area of a sector, we need to remember this important formula. Pi r squared multiplied by our degree sign divided by 360 degrees. So this degree sign is for the angle of a sector. So all we need to do is just plug in these two values into a formula. So pi multiplied by 15 squared, because r is 15. So pi multiplied by 15 squared multiplied by 30 divided by 360. That should give us our final answer of 58.8 centimeters squared to 3 significant figures. We are given an angle of a major sector, that's 315 degrees. Our radius is equal to 3 centimeters. We are asked to work out the area of major sector. So the formula is the same as area of sector, pi r squared multiplied by angle of sector divided by 360. And all we need to do is plug in this angle along with this radius into our formula. So pi multiplied by 3 squared multiplied by 315 divided by 360. That will give us our final answer of 24.7 centimeters squared. Or with this, we can simplify them. So that pi times 3 squared is equal to 9 pi. 315 over 360 can be simplified into 23 over 72, and that will still give us our final answer of 24.7 centimeters squared. We are given a minor sector here. So angle of this particular sector is 45 degrees. Our diameter is 6 centimeters. We are asked to work out the area of minor sector. So the formula is the same as for the major sector. Pi r squared multiplied by angle of sector divided by 360. Our diameter is 6 centimeters and our formula is in the form of pi r squared. So we need to divide 6 by 2 to work out the radius of this circle, which is 3. So we will do pi multiplied by 3 squared multiplied by 45 divided by 360. That will give us our minor sector of 3.5 centimeters squared. And this can be simplified in as follows. So pi times 3 squared is equal to 9 pi. 45 over 360 can be simplified to 1 over 8. And that will still give us our final answer of 3.5 centimeters squared. Work out x. We are given two angles that we are aware of. So this angle here is 155 degrees. This right angle is equal to 90 degrees. And we are trying to work out x. And before we work out x, we need to remember this important information. All of these angles here, in other words, all of these angles within a circle add up to 360 degrees, or angles around the point add up to 360 degrees. So we would do x plus 90 plus 155 is equal to 360 degrees. There are two ways to do this. You can either make x the subject straight away, move the plus 90 and plus 155 to the right side and do 360 minus 90 minus 155. Or if you want to make it easy for yourself, you can add these straight away. So 90 plus 155 is equal to 245. We'll make x a subject. 360 minus 245, or x is equal to 360 degrees minus 90 degrees minus 155 degrees. Our final answer will be 115 degrees. So this is our final answer. Work out x. We are given the following expressions: x plus 60, x plus 85, x plus 125. Remember, all angles inside the circle add up to 360 degrees. Or you could say angles around the point add up to 360 degrees. So all we need to do is add all of these together and make it equal to 360 degrees. Therefore, x plus 60 plus x plus 85 plus x plus 125 is equal to 360 degrees. Let us add all the x's together. X plus x is equal to 2x. 2x plus x is equal to 3x. Plus 60 plus 85 plus 125 is equal to 360. Let's add these values together. 85 plus 125 plus 60 is equal to 270. So 3x plus 270 is equal to 360 degrees. We need to make x the subject, so we will move the plus 270 to the right side to make it minus 270. So 3x is equal to 360 minus 270, that's equal to 90. 3x is equal to 90. We need to make x the subject, therefore 90 divided by 3 is equal to 30. So our final answer is x is equal to 30 degrees. We are given this circle here. We know that the radius is 3 and our angle here is 315 degrees, but we do not know the length of this major arc, so we're trying to work it out. There are two ways to do this using two different formulas. So let us work out the first way. The length of the major arc of a circle is equal to 2 pi r multiplied by our angle, which is 315 degrees, divided by 360 degrees. And our radius is 3. So we'll just plug this into a formula. So 2 multiplied by pi multiplied by 3 divided by 315 degrees divided by 360 degrees. So 2 pi times 3 is equal to 6 pi. Our fraction here, so 315 over 360, can be simplified further to 23 over 72. When you do 23 over 72 multiplied by 6 pi, that should give us 16.49 centimeters. So that's our final answer. Let us work out the second way. So the second formula you could use. So our angle multiplied by pi r divided by 180 degrees. So let's just plug these two values into our formula. So 315 multiplied by pi multiplied by 3 divided by 180 degrees will give us our final answer of 16.49 centimeters. We are given this circle here. Our angle is 45 degrees. Our diameter is equal to 6 centimeters. And we're trying to work out the length of the minor arc. So the length of arc of a circle, as we mentioned before, 2 pi r multiplied by our angle, which is 45 degrees, divided by 360 degrees. Our diameter is 6 centimeters. We need to divide this by 2 to get our radius, which is 3. We'll just plug in these values into the formula, or you could do our angle multiplied by pi multiplied by r divided by 180 degrees. So our minor arc is equal to 2 pi multiplied by 3 multiplied by 45 over 360 degrees. So 6 pi multiplied by our 1 over 8, which is the simplified version of this fraction, and that should give us our minor arc of 2.36 centimeters. So this slide will help you know the different types of lines and how do we name them. So this type of line is a straight line. Likewise, this line here is also known as a horizontal line. This line, facing different direction to this line here is known as the vertical line. This line is known as the diagonal line. And these two lines that are facing in the same direction are known as parallel lines. And lastly, these lines facing different directions are known as perpendicular lines. So this slide will help you understand and appreciate the different types of angles that have been used in geometry. What angle is this? So this angle right here is a right angle, and a right angle is equal to 90 degrees. Next, what type of angle is this? So this type of angle is known as an acute angle. So an acute angle has a range between 0 degrees to 90 degrees. What type of angle is this? So this type of angle is known as an obtuse angle. So an obtuse angle are values ranging from between 90 degrees to 180 degrees. Lastly, what type of angle is this? So this angle is known as a reflex angle. A reflex angle ranges between 180 degrees to 360 degrees. So in this slide, we will go through some important informations to remember. These following informations will be helpful to solve any basic or advanced geometry questions. So the first information that we really need to remember, angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. The second important information, angles around a point add up to 360 degrees. And lastly, angles inside the triangle add up to 180 degrees. Here we are given two shapes combined together. We are given a quadrilateral and we're also given an equilateral triangle. So equilateral triangle means where these three angles are exactly the same. BC and DE are parallel. So BC and DE are parallel. We know that angle ABC, ABC, so this angle is equal to 125 degrees. Work out X, explain your working out. I'll show you how to get the final answer and how to break them down step by step. So before answering this question carefully, we need to consider some of the important facts about these two shapes altogether. So we know that angle CED is equal to the angle BCE. Notice that these two angles are equal to each other because these are alternate angles in the form of a Z shape. The second important information is that the angles inside the triangle add up to 180 degrees. And the last piece of information to consider, angles in a quadrilateral add up to 360 degrees. So angles in a quadrilateral add up to 360 degrees. So we know that this right angle is equal to 90 degrees. So all we need to do is just subtract, so do 360 minus 90 minus 60 minus 125 to get us the value for X. This is 85 degrees. Therefore, X is equal to 85 degrees. We are given this shape. We need to find the sum of the interior angles of any polygon. And the only way we can do this is to use this formula. N minus 2 multiplied by 180. N is equal to the number of sides. So this shape is a pentagon, and a pentagon has 5 sides. So to work out the interior angles of this particular pentagon, we need to do 5 minus 2 multiplied by 180, and that should give us our total angles of 540 degrees. So here's another example we can go through together. So once again, we are given a pentagon, and notice that this pentagon has been split into 3 triangles. So to work out the sum of the interior angles in a polygon, we need to consider some important information. So we need to work out how many triangles are inside this polygon. In this case, there are 3. Remember, angles inside the triangle add up to 180 degrees. So this means this triangle is angles in this triangle add up to 180 degrees. The angles inside this triangle add up to 180 degrees. Likewise, angles inside this triangle would add up to 180 degrees. Given that there are 3 triangles, and given this information, all we need to do is to do 3 triangles multiplied by 180 degrees. That should give us 540 degrees. Now, here's a little twist. We need to work out the interior angle of a particular polygon. How do we do this? What we need to do is to divide the total angle by the number of sides. Given that this is a pentagon and there are 5 sides, all we need to do is to do 540 degrees divided by 5, or 540 divided by n, and that should give us 108 degrees. We know how to work out the interior angle of a regular polygon. Let us look at an example where we need to work out the exterior angle. So how do we work out an exterior angle of a polygon? To find the exterior angle of any polygon, all we need to do is divide 360 by number of sides. You can remember it as this formula, 360 divided by n, where n are the number of sides. We know that this shape right here is a pentagon, and a pentagon has 5 sides. So to work out this exterior angle, we need to do 360 divided by n. We know that n is equal to 5. So 360 divided by 5 is equal to 72 degrees. So that is our final answer. So our exterior angle is equal to 72 degrees. Remember, angles around the point add up to 360 degrees. Here is another example to go through together. So we need to work out the interior angle of this polygon. So again, it's a pentagon. But before we do that, we need to work out the external angle. The only way to work out the external angle, we need to do 360 divided by the number of sides. We know that there are 5 sides, therefore 360 divided by 5 will give us this external angle. So when you do 360 divided by 5, that will give us 72 degrees. And we're just going to write it down here. We know that this line here adds up to 180 degrees. In other words, angles in a straight line add up to 180 degrees. Therefore, what we need to do is 180 minus 72 degrees. So as I said, angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. So when you do 180 minus 72 degrees, that should give us the interior angle of 108 degrees. Now to double check this, 108 degrees plus 72 degrees is equal to 180 degrees. Therefore, we have double checked this to make sure that it follows this rule. Area of a square. Before we work out area of square, we need to understand what does area mean to us. What does it mean? Area just means the space inside the shape. So area can be measured in square units because we multiplied 2 dimensions. Area can have various units. It can be in centimeters squared, or it can be in millimeters squared, depending on what the question is asking you. So to work out area of square, we need to do length multiplied by width. So we know that our width is equal to 5. However, there's a little catch, so be careful. So in a square, length is equal to width. So that means 5 centimeters here is also the same for the length. In other words, length is also equal to 5 centimeters. So in a nutshell, our width is equal to 5 centimeters, our length is also equal to 5 centimeters. So that makes it easy for us to work out area of a square. So all we need to do is 5 multiplied by 5, and that should give us our final answer of 25 centimeters squared. Please include your units in your final answer. This is really important. Perimeter of a square. What does perimeter mean to us? So perimeter means the distance around the shape. So to work out the perimeter, we need to add all of these sides together. So length plus width plus width. To make it easy for yourself, you could write it as perimeter is equal to 2 lots of length plus width. As we mentioned earlier, in a square, length is equal to width, which means that if this is 5 centimeters, our length is also 5 centimeters. So this is something to consider. Now, let us work out the perimeter. Perimeter is equal to 2 lots of 5 plus 5. Or with this information, perimeter is equal to 2 lots of length plus width. So 2 times 5 plus 5. So 5 plus 5 is equal to 10. 10 multiplied by 2 is equal to 20. So our final answer is equal to 20 centimeters. That's our perimeter. Let us look at a new shape. So this shape here is a cuboid. We are given 3 measurements, 6 centimeters, 1 centimeters, and 3 centimeters. I will asked to work out the volume of a cuboid. But before we do that, what does volume mean to us? Volume tells us how much it can fit inside the 3D object, or how much it can fit inside the 3-dimensional object. So volume is measured in cube units, so it could be centimeter cube or millimeter cube, depending on what the question is asking, as we multiply the 3 dimensions. So to work out the volume of a cuboid, we need to remember this formula. Volume is equal to length times height times width. Our length in this case is equal to 6 centimeters. Our height is equal to 3 centimeters. And our width is equal to 1 centimeters. So to work out the volume, all we need to do is multiply these 3 numbers together. So volume is equal to 6 multiplied by 3, multiplied by 1. That will give us our final answer of 18 centimeter cube. Please include the correct units in your final answer. If you don't include the correct units in your final answer, you may lose marks. So be aware of that. We have an understanding of working out the volume of a cuboid. But let us look at a new scenario where we need to work out the surface area. But what does surface area mean to us? Surface area just means area outside the 3D shape. So it looks at all the faces. So looking at this cuboid, so we have 6, 1, and 3. So to work out the surface area, we need to add this side with the other side, this side with the other side, and this side with this side. Or simply 2 lots of A times B, A times B, A times B, plus 2 lots of B times C, B times C, B times C, and lastly 2 lots plus 2 lots of A times C, A times C, A times C. We know that A is equal to 6, B is equal to 3, and C is equal to 1. So all we do with these values is plug into our formula. So 2 lots of 6 times 3 plus 2 lots of 3 times 1 plus 2 lots of 6 times 1. 6 times 3 is equal to 18. 3 times 1 is equal to 3. 6 times 1 is equal to 6. So 2 lots of 18 plus 2 lots of 3s plus 2 lots of 6. When you add them together, so 2 times 18 is equal to 36, plus 2 times 3 is equal to 6, plus 2 times 6 is equal to 12. When you add these three values together, that will give us our surface area of 54 centimeters squared. Area of a parallelogram. What is the formula for area of parallelogram? So the formula is base multiplied by perpendicular height. Be careful, not the slant height. The slant height is used for cones only. So keep an eye on that and don't get confused. So to work out the area of parallelogram, area is equal to base times perpendicular height. Our base is equal to 5 and our perpendicular height is equal to 3. So all we need to do is multiply them together. 5 centimeters multiplied by 3 centimeters. Our area will be 15 centimeters squared. Please include your units in your final answer. Let us look at a new shape.